If you're watching this video, chances are your exams are just around the corner and you're trying to make the most of your preparation time. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 8 common mistakes that students make during exam preparation, and you are probably making at least one of them, just so you know how to avoid them. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the classic mistake: procrastination and cramming. I get it. Sometimes you think, oh, I still have time, until suddenly you don't have the time. The result is that you end up cramming. And while cramming will help you memorize it, it's terrible for long-term retention. So what do you do instead? Create a realistic study table. I've spoken about study table for exam in like 2 of my previous videos. Just make sure to watch it. Create a realistic study timetable with your exam timetable. Even if you have only a few days left, this is still a good way to go about it. So you can break your time into manageable chunks and focus on high priority topics. High priority topics are the ones that seem like a trend in past questions. They always come out. You're kind of sure that they always come out. So these are high priority topics that you need to focus on. Or basically, from the way the lecturer teaches it, it gives you a pointer to the fact that it is definitely going to come out. You know, the irony about this first mistake, procrastination and cramming, is that you can still be thinking it's not for you, like this mistake does not apply to you. But a lot of people cram without knowing that they cram. Or you're moving a topic or a course that you should be studying, you're moving it to a later date because you think you still have time to study it. You are procrastinating. The second mistake you are making is ignoring the syllabus and studying passively. You're reading what's not inside the syllabus. You're doing too much. It's exam time. Just focus on what you're sure is going to come out, right? And then this is not the time to be reading passively. Passive reading is when you're just, you have the book in front of you and you're just looking at it. You're not doing, taking short breaks to revise and be sure if it's in your brain. You're not saying it out. You're not doing active reading. Active reading is things that involve you saying it, teaching it, explaining it, just to be sure that you understand. You're doing passive reading when it's not mid-semester, it's exam time. It's exam time. You should be studying with the syllabus. Make sure that you are using the correct syllabus. Confirm from your friends, confirm from your classmates, and be sure that you're studying all the topics that you should be studying, and you're also not studying the topics it is not necessary for you to study. Because this one is something that I've seen happen a lot. Come about, when did they teach us this one? I was in class, blah blah blah. So make sure to confirm the syllabus and do not study passively. See, your syllabus is like a cheat sheet of what's going to be coming out in the exam. If you're studying passively, if you're just picking topics on what to study, I wish you the best. But if you truly want to cover and be sure that you are guided on any side your lecturer might bring you from, make sure to stick with the syllabus, because you just could be wasting precious time studying what is not when you should be studying what is. This one has personally happened to me, because there are some lecturers that actually do not give syllabus, so you just may not know whether it is in their syllabus or not. That's why it is important for you to confirm this with past papers, confirm this with your other classmates that have gotten the syllabus magically. There are always people like that, I promise you. So align your study plan, align what you're studying with the syllabus, and if there's a topic you're unsure about, confirm from your classmates. Another big mistake students make is passive study. When they are studying your notes, you're just reading, you're highlighting, but you're not particularly engaging with the material. Here's the thing: it feels productive on the surface level, but that's what you're doing, surface level reading. You don't get deep understanding of the topic. It's never enough to score very high scores, just enough to pass you, or not to score very high. Active reading forces your brain to work harder and retain the information better. I explain active recall and active studying in almost all my study videos, so you can check out my study playlist. I have a playlist titled Study Since, so make sure to check it out, and you will find one that explained active reading. The third mistake you're probably making during this exam period is multitasking. You are trying to study 2 topics together, you are trying to study 2 courses together. Just pick one, focus on it, and move on. I know we live in a multitasking world, but trust me, it does not work when it comes to exam preparation. Trying to study while texting, watching video, or studying 2 courses together, it is something that never goes well, because on the surface you think you're being productive, you think you're actually studying, but just try revising. That's exactly when you're going to know that you spent 3 hours studying 1 page. Instead, locking. Determination is key. Turn off your notification. Be determined to spend 2 hours focused on this topic and study it actively. I promise you, you get more done in less time when you do not multitask. The fourth mistake you're probably making is neglecting weak areas. Let me paint a scenario. You are a warrior, you can fight, there's no battle you've never won, but then you have a weak point, which is your knee. You know that once the one kick in your knee and you're down on the ground, if you have a war to fight with someone, the smartest thing to do is wear a knee pad. Wear something to protect your knee, so that even when they kick you on your knee, You know that, it's just like they're literally kicking you on any other part that does not affect you. But then when you're going for a war and you're like, oh yeah, you're strong, if they kick you anyway, you are going to fight back. The only problem is your knee, so it's just smalls. That's what we do when we prepare for exams, and we leave out weak areas because we think they are difficult or they are too much for us. We're literally giving the lecturer the opportunity to use it against us and kick us in the knee, the weak point. I understand that it's tempting to leave out topics that feel intimidating, maybe because they are voluminous, they are difficult. But the thing is, you're giving your lecturer the opportunity to kick you on your knee, the weak area. Exams often test a bit of everything, and these weak areas can cost you a lot. What do you do instead? Start by tackling those weak areas. That one that you don't like, that one that you find that too much, that you find difficult. Start with that one and progress into the one that you are strong in. Find ways to study them that work. Break them into smaller chunks. Meet someone to explain it to you. It's possible that when they are telling it to you, you find it easier than when you have to sit down and study it yourself. Ask Google about it. Ask ChatGPT to explain to you like you're fine. Paint a scenario and just make sure to understand it, even if it is in the barest form. Fifth mistake you're probably making is memorizing without understanding. I bet you are doing this one. And you know the irony? You probably do not know you are doing it. Yes, I'm going to shake tables because many people believe, oh, they don't cram. They don't cram, they read, they understand, they memorize. But then sometimes you memorize without understanding. There's a difference between memorizing with understanding and memorizing without understanding. When you memorize and you understand, that means you don't just know the what, you know the why and the how. So for instance, if you memorize with understanding, you know that 8 times 46 is 368. You know the what. When you memorize without understanding, you just know the what. You just know that 8 times 46 is 368. You don't know why 8 times 46 is 368. You don't know how 8 times 46 is 368. You just know the what. But when you memorize with understanding, you know everything. You know why 8 times 46 is 368. Such that if the question were to be rephrased and asked like 368 divided by 46, you know it's 8. 368 divided by 8, you know it's 46. 46 times 8, you know it's 368. But when you memorize without understanding, the only thing you know is 8 times 46 being 368. And if you were to be asked in another form, you'd be confused. So when you memorize with understanding, you don't just know the words, you know why it is like that, and you know how to arrive at that. You get what I'm saying? So oftentimes you memorize without understanding. Meanwhile, you should be memorizing with understanding. So when you memorize without understanding, you actually did not cram, but then you do not really understand it. You just know it on a surface level. You can explain it in your own words, maybe define it, but you still don't get some things about it. So that if the question was to be asked in another way, that's why some people go to exam or they see the question asked in another way and they just don't know what to do. Meanwhile, it is something they've studied. They come out of the exam hall and realize that it's one question being asked in another way, and they're like, oh my god. So when you memorize with understanding, you have deep understanding of the topic, so that no matter how they want to break it, you just know that there's this keyword that would definitely be in the question for you to know this is what is being asked. Always aim to understand the concept first, then ask yourself, why is this like this? How is this like this? Once you understand, memorizing becomes easier, and in fact, more meaningful. The seventh mistake you're probably making during this exam period is not reviewing your work. How dare you forget to revise? It's not enough that you studied it. Revise it. It doesn't matter if you find it very easy and you think you still realize, revise it. It doesn't matter if you read it yesterday and you think you still remember, revise it. Especially those things that has to do with enumeration. You need to learn how to list a number of things. Chances are you might forget one or two, so make sure to revise it well. Revise before you enter the exam hall. Revise the morning of the exam. Revise day and night to the exam. You just need to revisit it multiple times to confirm that you truly retained it. Make time for a regular review session, especially if it's the final week of preparation for the exam. Use summarizing notes. Pick up a small paper. Just write out things that you know about it, or do a mind map. Like close your eyes and just try to think, okay, what's this? What are the types of this? What are the modifications of this? Just to be sure that you still remember everything that there is to that topic. And this reviewing also involves past questions, so you shouldn't forget to review past questions too. Past questions are very important because exams don't test how much you know, they test how well you can apply how much you know. So past questions will help you. It will help you understand the format of how questions are being framed for that particular topic. It will also help you identify frequently tested topics, like topics that you know that they always come out. It will help you know this. It will also help you practice time management, and don't just solve them. Analyze them and learn from your mistakes. The eighth and final mistake you are probably making and you should avoid is to avoid comparing yourself. It's very easy to fall into the trap of comparing your progress to others during this exam period. There are some people that, oh, they're done covering everything and you're still struggling with some topics. Do not compare yourself with others. Why? Because it's a waste of energy. Everybody has different studying methods, different studying techniques that works for them, and what worked for them might not work for you. So focus on your progress, focus on your plans, no matter how long they seem to have gone. You can take motivation from them. Oh, this person is done studying. Oh my god, it motivates you to stay awake longer at night to study, but not to compare yourself with them. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, like, share, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more academic tips. And I wish you success in your examination. I'm rooting for you. Bye.